excited to have a really amazing business owner and a really inspirational person with me today. Mark Jarvis is not only a really experienced entrepreneur, business owner who is not only helping businesses to grow more, to be more, to do more, but also he brings a lot of more clarity to business owners. And answering the question, what is your why? Mark, welcome to my studio. Thank you so much. I'm really, really happy to have you back again. That's so exciting.
Thank you very much, Olga. Lovely to be here again. I think I must have done something right to be invited back to your such a wonderful show. So thank you very much for having me this afternoon.
Oh, Mark, it's such a pleasure. And I must say, it's not like you must have done something right. You actually have done something amazing because people loved your value, which you gave last time. And the proposed topic today about what is your why is really important. This is something what many people unfortunately forget about. I mean, when we plan for a baby, we always think, well, it's good to have a baby because they're going to be like connecting both of us. It's going to be something sweet. We're going to look after the baby. And people, well, usually, all right, there are some cases, but usually two partners decide to have a baby because they want to have future. They want to have the next generation. And people go into businesses very often without any why. So, Mark, why is it important to have why? I think I repeat myself. Why is it important?
I sense a bit of a theme here, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's a really good question, Olga. And I've on my journey in life and business, I have learned, particularly in the last few years, that having clarity on why we do what we do is the fundamental message to me. It's very easy for us as business owners to perhaps think about starting our business, and we decide what we're going to do. We think about our products, we think about our services, we think about our marketing, and we think, well, how am I going to do my marketing? And we think, well, I'll create a brochure, I'll create a fantastic website, I'll create some business cards, and do all of the things that we do that we believe are the right things to do first. And we think about activity rather than why are we doing those activities. And I'm often reminded of a very, very well experienced and recognized business mentor and coach called Jim Rohn. I don't know, you might have come across it, you probably heard of it, and I'm sure some of our listeners have as well. And four of his favorite questions that he uses with his clients, and if I'm honest, I use with mine too, but that's okay.
They work.
They work, absolutely. And it is that, the first question is why?
Yes.
Why do you do what you do? Why are you doing that thing? Not just why are you doing what you do, but why are you thinking about doing whatever it is you're thinking about doing? And the second one is why not? And then why you? And then why not now? Basically, those are the four questions. Yes. But that first one in why is such an important thing in our businesses, because if sort of the last sort of 8, 9, 10 years or so has taught us anything, I mean, ignore the fact that we are where we are in what's happened over the last few months for us. But we're now in a global economy. We're now in a global market. And that's really only the advent of mobile phones and all the other bits and pieces that we are able to sofa surf, aren't we? Really, you sit in the evenings and you're doing your thing. You think, oh, well, can we go on holiday and all? Anyway.
Yes.
Well, that's what we do. We buy a new house or something, whatever it is. But the fundamental thing behind all that is why is it that we do what we do? And that's simply because people don't buy products and services anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make a choice about what to buy. People make a choice about who to buy from. And for me, when we can create a marketing message which is all about our purpose, which is our why is it we do what we do, then we are the people that people will choose.
Yes.
Now, just as a sort of an example, if I may, Olga, and then I will let you talk again. Which,
of course. No, please, it's your show. I want you.
Okay. So, imagine that you are sofa surfing. At the end of the day, you're sitting down on the sofa with your tablet or whatever it is, your phone or something like that, and you see an advert on the TV, and you think to yourself, "Oh, that looks really good." So you go and Google it, Perhaps it's a holiday destination or something like that. And they think, well, wouldn't that be lovely to go there? So you get yourself on Google and you go and find that holiday destination. Then typically, you know, our thought process is revolves around, well, that looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
The advert on the TV, or the message, if you like, has convinced me that I want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. But what they haven't done is convince me to buy it from them.
Yes.
What they've done is convince me I want it. So what do I do, and you do, and everybody else around us we do? We Google it and we try and find the cheapest place to get it. That's what we do. It's what Amazon's invented for.
So typical, yes.
But that's what it is, you know, and that's the reality, really, of today's global economy. When we compete on price, margins will decrease. When we compete on purpose, profits increase.
Yes.
And by purpose, I mean why.
Yes.
And that's such an important message. It's such an important thing to do. So yeah, getting our why straight, if you like, is for me the most important thing that we as business owners have to have in place, and it becomes the lead of our marketing message.
I love this example. This is actually a really, really powerful one. And I wonder right now, those who are watching us right now, by the way, Mark, very often we're going international with shows. So those who are watching us right now, please do let us know where you are based, because it will be quite interesting to hear your opinion from different parts of the world. What's your why? What drives you in business? And I wonder, Mark, for example, those people who are watching us right now, whether it is YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, because we are across 3 platforms, do you think why that powerful why could be to make lots of money? Do you think it's strong enough? Because I know that many people, they go actually into the business for the sake of just making money. And here's my question. Do you think it's good enough to just to have a strong why, or like just to have that why about, I want to make, let's say, I don't know, whatever amount of money people want to make?
Do you want a short answer or a long answer?
An honest answer.
An honest answer, okay. The short answer is no, it's not enough.
Good.
The long answer is, well, here's why. So fundamentally, we understand the concept of USP, or unique selling proposition, or whatever the sort of local versions of that are. But fundamentally, if your purpose is to make lots of money, you are the same as everybody else.
Good answer.
Because, you know, surely a unique selling proposition is by its definition unique. And you know what? Your why is the only thing that's unique about you.
Yes.
Because your commercial proposition, your product or your service, is not unique. Subject to a few things which are globally unique, which I don't really think there are many, none that spring to mind. I'm sure our listeners will probably think of some. But something that I literally cannot get anywhere else. But fundamentally, having that why in place is what people are making a decision about. So answering the question, Olga, no, it's not enough, because we're not unique in that. You know, any business owner wants to make money, wants to be successful, but the question behind that is, why is that important?
Yeah.
Why is it important for that business to be commercially successful? And the why behind that are the aims and the aspirations and the values of the business. Sometimes it's the business owner,
Yes.
but fundamentally it's about the organization. So if you think about some of the better known organizations around us in the world, for example, Nike, McDonald's, Apple, the list goes on, you know, which have very, very, very strong brand values. They have a very strong aspirational marketing message. Their why is very strong in that. You know, they don't just say, well, I want to make lots of money, I want to be a successful business, I want to serve lots of customers, I want to help lots of people. Well, do you know what? So does everybody else.
Yeah. I love the answer.
Anyway.
And I say I could not agree with you any less, honestly, because, and the reason why, not only I was always driven by more humanitarian reason rather just money, because money is important. Money gives you options, money gives you tools, money is exciting thing to have because you can have much better lifestyle. But same time, if you don't have something what speaks to your soul, you can't really connect with other people. And also, I must say, I think I was quite lucky, probably lucky is a good word, or maybe blessed is a better word actually, to work with some clients who were hiring me to help them to find their purpose. And literally what I was hearing from them, I've got it all, because some of them start from wealthy family and they built even more wealth. Some of them started from nothing and they build themselves wealth, but they all reported that they don't feel fulfilled because what they were chasing was just that financial success, which actually it is much easier to achieve than people think. Financial success, it is all down to our beliefs, all down to how good we are and how good can we sell ourselves. But if you have strong why, not only it will help you to sell your business better, but also it will help you to be fulfilled, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And just perhaps just to build on that point that you've made there, if somebody, for example, has come from an environment where they have been very lucky, they've been in a position where they have been able to have whatever they needed. Perhaps they haven't had the challenges that some people have had, on their journey. And you can imagine that somebody like that may have decided to go out on their own, to start their own business, to build something up from scratch, because they felt that actually doing something for themselves to create their own purpose and feel valued in the world is actually a really strong why.
Yeah.
It's a really important point for them, but it is only relevant to them.
Yes. Yeah. And this is quite interesting how that why, which we all have within ourselves, it is not actually even that easy to find, because it's easy to say, just find your why, and then you will connect with, on the basis of that, with people. But actually, as I just said, sometimes it's something what you should just search for. But Mark, can you give any tips how people actually can find their why? I mean, you work with your customers and you clearly help them as well to find their why. So how our listeners today could find their own why, whether they would like to improve their business and they would like to do better at what they do now, or maybe they're just about to start a business and they are looking for their why.
Yes, absolutely. And without using the word why too many times, we ought to have like a why counter on the side here, didn't we? Really? How many times did we say the word why? Fundamentally, it is asking that question again. I want to make money in my business. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, I want to be successful. I want to provide for my family. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, actually, because growing up, I grew up in a family where we did struggle sometimes. Not all the time, but we sometimes struggled for trying to do whatever we wanted to do. So it's important to me that I provide very well for my family. So there's the essence of a bit of a why there, if you like. But it can go back into more detail than that. And sometimes it can become a little Freudian. So by Freudian, I mean there's a psychologist called I can't remember his first name, but Freud, who was pretty much the father of modern psychology. But that's by Freudian, I mean, so the people that were sort of approach it from that direction. Anyway, finding that why is that important to you, and just constantly asking yourself why is that important, just helps you just take another step back. And very often I find when I'm working with clients that they will attach their why to sometimes a negative experience in their life. And the thing I would share with people is it doesn't always have to be negative. Our why can sometimes be a very, very positive experience. Perhaps we were lucky enough to grow up in an environment where we were able to have whatever we wanted. So therefore we want to continue that with our own families as we, develop our own families and have children. And we want to be able to continue to do that. So what is it that drives me to do what I do? It's to create a legacy. It's to be the person who has supported my family in a way that perhaps I wasn't able to have when I was growing up. To be able to have the things that I want to have around me, and I want to provide for my children, and I want them to provide for their children, etc., etc. So it is very much about creating happiness in the world. And I have one of my favorite sayings. I don't know whether it's a Marxism or somebody else's thing, but happiness is not having what you want, because most people think, well, if I get more things, I'll be
Yes.
happier, but that's not the truth. You know, happiness is not having what you want; it's actually wanting what you have.
Mhm.
So when you've got everything around you, and at the end of the day, family is the only thing that's important, really, and health. When you've got all that around you, that's the route to happiness.
That is so true. And I love how beautiful is your why. This is amazing. And you see, when you share stuff like that, which is personable, people can relate to that. People can really see themselves in that situation. And I think if everybody will just start with their own personal why and they'll put it into the business mission, into the business vision, I'm sure that actually will create better connection between the consumer and the business. Because very often you have great strap lines, but they don't really open up hearts. They don't really speak anything apart of just being a nice strap line. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. We actually have Diana Grant saying here, good to be here. That's on YouTube. Why is so important in every area of life. And I think Diana is so right. We are speaking right now about the business particularly, but actually it is important in every aspect. Like, why do people want to lose weight? Why, for example, girls before they get married, they really lose their weight. Once they got married, they can let it go, right? Why, for example, people have really important event where they're going to speak out and they go and they take courses in public speaking, they improve their speech, and then they can let it go. Why, for example, people really work so hard to bring better relationships with their friends, better social life, and then once they have lots of friends, they stop communicating with them and they stop building that relationship, continue that building relationship, because they don't really have strong why for long enough. It was a short-term why, not a long-term why. So yes, Diana, you are so right. I think to have why in every area of life is so important. But thank you so much for this comment. That's really nice. So yes, Mark, I appreciate you sharing with us your personal story about your why. So I want that those who are watching us right now, whether it is Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, could you please share with us your why? Because I would love to hear your why. And Mark, when you referred, ask yourself why. Why is that again? Ask yourself why is that again? I actually remember doing this exercise when I was reading a book by Dean Graziosi, and that book is called, I think something like Habits of Successful People or Millionaire Habits, something like this.
Yeah.
But anyways, he talks a lot about this why. And he says it's about at least 7 whys you need to ask yourself before you get to the rock bottom of why you want to do that. So I really love the way how you also said very similar thing. Just keep asking yourself a question until it feels strong, until it really sits with you and settles well. And when I was working on my own why, actually it was quite interesting how in the beginning it was like, because I want to help people. And it's like, why? Right? This is so generic. You just want to help people. And then when I was going through my whys, and my rock bottom why went all the way big. I want to help people to improve their mindset, to change their lives, because I want them to build healthier families, because I want to reduce the divorce rate in the world, because I want children to see happy and healthy relationship role models so they can pass it on through generations. And to me, that was mind-blowing when I discovered that. And the reason why, because I grew up in a family which was broken. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, at all levels. It was absolutely broken family. But I never was reflecting on that. I never was connecting that with my past, my why. So finding that actually gave me even more inspiration and more like motivation now to go ahead and really do that. Rather before it was like, I want to help more people. And it doesn't even resonate with anybody because, come on, how many people want to help others, right?
Yeah.
Plenty of them. Yeah, so I really appreciate you actually mentioned the tool, how people actually can find their own why. But then once they found their why, what's the next step? How they can implement it in the business? Should they put it across their I don't know, materials? Should they use it in their strapline? Should they use it in their vision? What's the usage of that why? How often business should talk about their why?
A great question. Thank you, Olga. And you've given a very, very good example there of why I should choose you over somebody else who does what you do.
Yeah.
And whilst I haven't gone into the detail as much as you have with why I do what I do, from the essence of what we've talked about there, I'd like to think that our listeners are already getting a bit of a handle and an understanding as why would they choose you or I as a business coach or personal coach, why would they choose you or I over somebody else who does the same thing?
Yeah.
And a bit like the sofa surfing thing I was talking about earlier on, yes, we are absolutely engaged and connected to the experiences that our clients have because we've experienced it too, and our why is similar to their why.
Yes.
And we connect through our values. And surely, and to me, the key thing there is that creates the human connection again, because we mustn't forget that we are human, whether we like it or not. We are.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes I am getting around to your answer. Sometimes that commerce and industry and the wheels of industry and the busyness that happens around us just gets in the way. And we forget that the human connection is actually what people choose to do. And as you know, probably more so than I have experience in, decision making is an emotional thing. The decision to do something, the decision to buy something, the decision to engage in something, that is an emotional decision. So without getting into the way the brain works and all the other sorts of things, as I say, you probably know more about that than I do. But decision making is done in the emotional brain, where there's no language, there's no data, there's no information. So creating that emotion, which is where the why comes from, is such an important thing. So to come back to your question is, websites are fantastic because it allows us to demonstrate our vision and our values and our mission, for example. And in the traditional place, the about page on websites, I look at about pages on websites, and it often makes me smile because they're very much about products and services, and this is what we do, and there's a link which says our products and services and all sorts of things like that, which is great. It's okay, it's information, but in exactly the same way as our sofa surfing example, our website and our marketing material, our brochures and all the other stuff that we do, our social media, for example, might be really, really good at convincing people to buy our product or service. But what happens is, as we did in the sofa surfing, people will be convinced to buy your product and service, and then they will choose to go and find it somewhere cheaper. So, and for me, that's one of the reasons why the whole concept of people said, don't put prices on your website. Don't advertise your prices, because people without a strong why as the lead message in our marketing, people buy on price. Because that's human nature. If I think I can get product A or product B, exactly the same thing in my mind, for the different prices, which one am I going to go for? Okay.
True.
Anyway, so to answer the question, Olga, is the lead of our marketing message.
Yeah.
And the marketing people that we have around us are absolutely the right people to talk to about crafting a marketing message, which is around why we do what we do, not around our list of products or our list of services, because I can get that anywhere. It is all about why we do what we do. So, that example of wanting to do a presentation at a wedding, for example, to do a speech at a wedding. So you take a speech coach or something like that, and we ask, well, why is that important? Well, it's important because that individual wants to look and feel, and there is the word, the feel word, to feel great about what they're doing. And that's when we attach our feelings and our why to actually what our business does.
Love that.
So I believe 100% in what I do because I'm attached to it emotionally, and it's attached to my why. And if we have a product or a service, it doesn't matter. And I'm often asked the question, well, how can I attach my why to a if you imagine you're a garden supplies business
Yeah.
and one of your products is flower pots, for example. How can I attach my why to a bunch of flower pots? How
Mhm.
does that work? Well, you're right in that you're not going to attach your why to a bunch of flower pots, but you're going to attach it to the way that you run your business,
Mhm.
to your values, and the reason that you run your business in the way that you run your business. So it's less about what you do and more about the way you do it.
Very true.
Then if that answers the question, Olga, it probably answered it in more words than you needed, but there we go anyways.
Oh no, totally, absolutely. Because basically, what we have to do through materials of our business by mentioning our why is how we're gonna make our consumer feel. Because as you said, we buy on emotional level, we buy with our emotional brain. So that means we need to really feel we want to buy from you. So, and the same bunch of flowers could be sold as making your girlfriend smile. Right. And then obviously this story changes, not just a bunch of flowers anymore. Actually, it becomes something what will make you smile, will make you think about you. Right. Okay. So it's slightly different. It's about connecting with your own why. Every person wants to feel special. So after buying from you, how special will they feel? And if we just put it across everything, website, maybe brochures, maybe business cards, depends what everybody uses. I mean, during the lockdown, business card is the most useless material we can ever print for ourselves, right? That's for sure. But I actually quite like a few messages here on YouTube. Diana says, my why for my business and for my personal journey, which are intrinsically linked, is to change the legacy I was born into, to change my stars. I'm creating a living legacy of abundant success by building a business that raises global consciousness by enabling millions of personal success stories through the power of authentic self-love.
Wow. Isn't that so powerful? That's just amazing, isn't it? Absolutely. And you know what? When I find out what you do, who am I going to go to first?
Diana
Yeah,
Grant. That's it,
absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because when you read that, and actually Howard he's admiring, he says, hi Diana, that is quite something, your why. And I agree, yes, exactly. I totally agree because it is quite a big one, but it's a big one because it's important to you. And there's no such a thing as we should compare our whys to other people. This is your why. It's not other competitors' why. It is your why. So let's make sure it's very personal. It's very, very your own. And I love that the fact that you actually address this in the importance of why so much, Mark, because as I said in the very beginning of this show, many people, they go into the business without having their reasons. And as a result, very often they don't succeed because they can't connect with people. Simple as that. So it's quite powerful to know your why.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite quotes, and this is a Marxism, when you have a powerful why, your customers have no choice
Yes. Yeah,
but to buy from you.
exactly. And
And
also,
that's the
let's
goal.
remember, that's true. But also let's remember that well-known fear of increasing our prices, right? We all know prices get increased everywhere across the globe on a yearly basis. It just happens. And then many people don't increase their prices because they live in a fear that the minute they will increase their prices, clients will run away from them. However, if your why is really strong, if you give exactly what you promised to your clients, if you deliver to them, why would they run away? Why would they go somewhere where it's cheaper? Because we all know this good saying, you get what you pay for, right?
It's very true, isn't it? We booked a holiday for the to go away. We're going to do it next year now. Booked a holiday to go away and all the family together. I rather than sort of pay for flights, I've decided I'm going to fly the airplane.
You're gonna fly the airplane.
Wait a minute, there's a point. So I'm going to fly the airplane. So I'm not a pilot. I've never been in the front of a plane in my life. Been in a helicopter, but I've never been in front of the plane myself. But
Right.
I'm going to fly the airplane.
Uh,
How
you-
many people? My question is. My question. There is a point. How many people are going to get on the aeroplane with me?
I'm not. I respect
None.
you, Mark. I love you, Mark, but
But no,
I'm not getting on
absolutely,
a plane. No.
absolutely. So my point really is, you know what? Why would you try and do something yourself
Oh,
when there are people out there who are experts at what they do?
duh. Exactly.
I know. So I know.
Oh, honestly, you scared me. I was like,
I
Mark,
know. Well, that was the point, really. It was for entertainment value as well as anything else. But it's a valid point, isn't it? All
yeah,
everybody that's listening here today, you and I included, you know, we are passionate about why we do what we do. We are the best at what we do, and
yes,
it's fair that we charge a reasonable price for that.
yes.
You know, I am entitled to have a profitable business in the same way that everybody else is.
Mm.
You know, and I often make the comment that people that are willing to invest time to save money
Hmm.
are the ones that are often challenged by success.
Yes.
But those people that invest money to save time,
Mhm.
that's okay. Those are the ones that grow.
That's true. And this is something what many people need to hear right this minute. And now, always bring this example. So, and I came across so many people, including myself, in a very, very long past time, some time ago. When we think about how busy we are, and then we get back home and we realize now we have to clean, now we have to tidy up, now we have to do X, Y, Z. My question always is, if you hire a cleaner, how much will you pay them? Whichever, depends where you are, depends how many hours, of course, the fee will be very different. But usually, well, at least normally, right? If you have your own business, if you do a really decent job, you will earn more in that an hour, 2 or 3 or 4, whatever your cleaner will spend at your house, than your cleaner will be paid, right? So if you earn more than you can pay your cleaner, why would you do your cleaner's job? Because in the meantime, you can relax. In fact, you can come back to a clean house because everything is already sparkling clean. And the reason why you can do that, because you earn more. And you pay somebody who can do the job for a lot less what you're earning when you're making your own money, doing your own stuff, you own what you're passionate about, which you really love doing. And you come back home, you put your feet up and you relax.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
let's leave these jobs to people who are passionate about their wives, because that girl or guy, housekeeper, they'll be really passionate about leaving the houses sparkling clean. That'll be their why, because they want to have families being happy. So by hiring other people, we're actually helping them to fulfill their own whys.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a thing I come up against so often. People who, well, yeah, it's okay. Oh, I'll do that. You know, I'll do my own accounts and I'll do my own marketing. I'll do my own social media. I'll do my own whatever it is. And it's okay because, you know, as when we begin our journey in business, that's the only approach we can do. You know, we are the person who does everything.
Yes.
And one of the things I often do with clients at the beginning of the journey is say, okay, so write down a list of all the roles that a business does,
Yes.
from director to owner to manager to payroll to social media, to, you know, list all the roles that people do, and then cross off the one that you like doing the least first.
Hmm.
So if the first thing you don't like doing is accounts, cross that off and give it to somebody else.
Hmm.
Because as you say, they're passionate about doing accounts, not you. You've already said it's the thing you like the least.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm not sure if we're answering the question about putting prices up, are we? I'm not sure if we're actually answering that question.
No, it answers perfectly well, because when your why is strong enough and it resonates with people, then why would they run away if you put the prices up? Of course, you should put prices up because everybody else puts the prices up. And if you don't increase your prices, but everybody else does, at some point you're gonna end up with no margin, because you're gonna pay more for internet, for the phone, for the office, for everything else, and then what you have left with, nothing, not even a penny. So yes, we must increase your price, but if your why is strong enough, if your reason why clients want to come working with you is strong enough, and also you prove that it's always that you always deliver that, then why would clients disappear? I can't see that happening. At least
It,
didn't happen with me. Didn't happen with so many of my other clients.
Yeah, absolutely believe that there are more than enough customers out there for all of us,
Yeah,
and we're only looking for the right ones.
that's right. Yeah, with whom your why will resonate.
But your values and your why connects. Absolutely, and that's it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Great.
love that. But Mark, I really wonder now about what you're going to say about this situation. So recently I was working with a client and we're working on a business wheel, which includes also goals in the business. Pretty much almost like relatable slightly to why, because why do you do a business? Because you have a particular goal which you want to achieve. And what was interesting, business owner, he was aware of his reasons of running a business. He was aware of, the targets which are in the business. But when I asked about the team, he went, I think they know. I was like, oh, wait, is it you think you know, or is it you do know that they know? And he was a bit puzzled, which of course indicates that he's not aware if they know or not. So my question here is, how important do you think it is for business owners to share the reasons, the purpose, the why of the business? Why are they running this business? Or is it not important at all? What's your opinion on that?
Again, short answer or a long answer, but short
Both.
answer is short answer is vital. And I'll give you this example, if I may. As you know, Olga, and everybody else will after I've told you, I spent 20 years in the hotel industry, in the hospitality industry. And we all, perhaps not so much at the moment, but we all have experienced going to a restaurant, to a family restaurant or something like that, to have a meal, whatever it is, with family or friends or something like that. And if you think about the team of people that are there serving, for example, and I know, having been in the industry for 20 years, that they are often the least recognized people in an organization.
Yes.
Just because of the nature of the organizations and the industry. So they're often the least recognized, and therefore perhaps the least motivated, and certainly they are not the most well-paid people in the world, and they work very, very hard, and the two things don't join up. So my point being that organizations that own businesses which are in hospitality, whether it's hotels or restaurants or things like that, are expecting those people who they motivate the least, who they communicate with the least, and who they pay the least to be the face of their business.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, it's vital because those people, as our organizations grow, those are the people that are our customer facing people. And if they don't know why they're doing what they do to support the business, to support the organization, to support the values and the vision and the mission of the organization, those are the people that we are expecting to represent our values to our customers.
Yes.
And if they don't have clarity on why, what are they going to do?
Yeah. This is so true. And if we just start valuing more people who work for us, then the world will definitely change, because people will be more inclined to actually come back to work. They'll be more willing to give more. Because again, not everybody is motivated by money, right? Some people need maybe to be rewarded verbally, and some other ways how people want to be rewarded. But still, if you pay great pay to those people who are bringing the massive difference in the business, then business definitely will do so much better, because there will be a joy in the business rather musts and shoulds and needs, because that really kills that positive vibration, positive energy. At least this is what I believe in. This is my belief, because in my business, I always paid my people decent money, and it was always, no matter what, with every year when there was, like national increase of minimum wage, even though I never paid my people any minimum wages, I was always increasing their wage no matter what. And I always believed in that. And that was also dependent on for how long they worked with me and all the rest of it, because I just believe you need to give back. Of course, it's not possible to pay somebody who is, you also have to pay accordingly, the levels and what they're doing, responsibilities. But at the same time, I think it's important to really value those who work for you and appreciate them, and definitely to make sure they help your business to grow with the great energy they will give back. But Mark, I have great comments here. Unfortunately, Howard, he needs to leave. He says, I must leave now. I'll pick up the end of the replay later. Thank you, Mark and Olga. Great show. And also Diana says, this was another very valuable session. Thanks, Mark and Olga. I really enjoyed the Markisms. I love that. Love that. Well, Mark, I really, really enjoyed having you today because you brought so much value, and I can see why your clients work with you and why they really benefit from you, because you're full of wisdom and also great expertise, which obviously is guided across so many years. But is there anything else actually you can share with our audience today? Anything new, anything exciting happening in your business and what we should know about?
Oh gosh, wow. You know me well enough to know that my brain never sits still. So
Yes, that's
there's always something, a new inspiration or a new idea or something that I'm working on or working towards. Before I perhaps share a couple of thoughts with you, I just wanted to just finish off on that last point, if I may.
Yes.
About pay. And I would ask us to consider, as an organization, the payroll the payroll in our organization is a significant cost for us.
Mhm.
And I would ask us to perhaps, rather than consider pay rises, think about what value we can add. And for me, we motivate our people most by adding value to them and helping them feel valued. And so that's another discussion, obviously not for now, but adding value and to our team and helping them to feel part of a community, which is our business, is where the value is added. So I just wanted to finish off on that point, if I may say.
Well, I love that. And I think actually that could be a really, really good discussion all about the culture in the business, right? How to make sure the culture is healthy, and also how to make sure people are valued, how to show the appreciation to them. That's a big topic.
It certainly is. Maybe that's episode 3, perhaps, that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 4 even, I don't know. But yeah, coming back to your point, thank you for asking, Olga. I'm pleased to be able to share some of my knowledge in sort of sound bites, really, in snippets. So I have a number of little snippet videos on my YouTube channel. I also run a little workshop, which is an introduction to relationship marketing or referral marketing. We all love referrals in our business, and I've yet to come across a business owner who says, well, I don't want referrals. It doesn't happen. But my question is, well, if they're so good, why do you wait for them then? Mm-hmm. Which is an interesting question. People don't have an answer for. So I have a little workshop which addresses that question. It's always on my Facebook page, always on there. And I also have just started a Business Leaders Inspiration Group, which is a sort of a mastermind knowledge sharing and support group for business owners, particularly relevant in these times. If anybody wants to know anything about those, get in touch. Olga will have my connection somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, well,
but thank you for asking anyway. Thank you.
What I will do for you, I will share these details about these 2 events actually below the video so people can find out more about that, because that sounds really exciting. So I'm looking forward to it, actually. I'll check the dates as well if I can make it myself, and I'll join you. But yeah, I'll definitely make sure I'll share it below the video so actually people can join you and learn a lot more from you. Because I remember when the first time I connected with you, that was at the event where you were actually speaking, and you spoke literally on relationships, business relationships. And I so resonated with you. That was something what I believe in, that we have to make sure we build relationships, but also we never burn the bridges, because sometimes relationship doesn't work out because of for few reasons. It could be something personal, it could be just the energy is not there, but also it's quite important when you stop relationships or when you don't want to continue relationships, not to burn bridges. Yeah. Because unfortunately, many people, they burn bridges and then it bites them at some point in the future. So I loved that topic which you were speaking about, and that's why we're so well connected, because I just was like, yep, that's my man. He speaks on my topic. I love that.
Very good. Very good.
That was really exciting. But thank you so much, Mark. I know you also are on social media, so I guess people can connect with you also on social media. Is it right?
Absolutely, yes. You can find me on LinkedIn, Mark A. Jarvis. You can find me on Facebook as well. I can't remember the link. I'm sure you'll be very kind and post the link somewhere. But if you just find Mark Jarvis on Facebook, you'll probably find me there. I look like this, So
That's true. Yes. But thank you so much, Mark. It was such a joy to have you back again in the studio. Again, as always, so much value. But I must say, every time we had discussions, and we had so many of them before we both actually went live. And that's why I was thinking, you know what, I need to bring you into the studio, because every time we have so much value exchange. And every time I was thinking, oh, I wish I could record that so people can hear the message. But here we go, now sharing this with other people. And it seems like people love that. Seems that people enjoy that, which is the most important point. And I will finish up with this amazing comment from Diana Grant on YouTube. She says, I start my day every day with a question. How can I serve today? To Mark's point about adding value, value exchange must flow in all directions. How powerful is that?
wow, that's wonderful, isn't it? I need to find Diana. We need to get connected. Very good.
Oh, Diana, she's a wonderful, wonderful person. Yes, she actually is a regular on the show as well. And she was on my show too. And she speaks a lot about self-love. She's also an author. So yes, we fall in love literally with each other straight away the minute we just saw each other. And that was like ages ago. So yes, very grateful for Diana. Thank you, Diana, for this comment. But actually, Diana is a friend of mine on LinkedIn and also on Facebook. So you'll be able to connect with my connections. But Mark, thank you so very much for giving your time, so giving your value, for bringing your wisdom today and your amazing energy, because you do have an amazing energy and it is always a joy to have you.
Thank you so much, Olga. It's really nice to talk to you again. I love how our conversations just evolve, don't they? We never know where they're going to go, which is always great fun. So thank you so much.
Exactly. But the thing is, it's about being able to open up completely. And that's why, as you know, Mark, and also those who never been on my show, I never script any questions. There's never anything prepared, because we want that to be very natural, like natural flowing conversation, because only then you can bring up the best out of people. And all my guests, including Mark, they're all amazing, amazing people. And Mark, thank you so much. But also everybody else who was with us today and stayed with us till the very end. I'm so grateful and thankful for joining us wherever you do. Have an enjoyable day and take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga.